Hey everybody, how's it going? Josh here, and welcome to the hopefully one of many more to come on-camera installments of the HNEpod here on HN Entertainment. So today we're talking about a few things that have been happening. I saw a few comments and tweets. People were messaging, asking us to talk about the Morbius trailer, the Black Widow special look, and then also the news about the director of Doctor Strange 2 leaving the project, which is obviously something that I don't think anyone saw coming whatsoever. Now, besides that, also I want to talk about a MonsterVerse theory today regarding Kong and his size. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, SoundCloud, any of those audio-only versions, or not versions, but platforms, the whole thing is up on there, whole audio track, not split up, anything like that. However, if you're watching this on YouTube, which in that case you must be if you're seeing me on cam, you're going to be checking this podcast out in segments. This is something I want to try out going forward, and hopefully you guys like it. I know the background, all that stuff, lighting isn't perfect at the moment. All this is very much a work in progress, and as time goes on, I get more comfortable on camera. The whole process hopefully gets more fluid. Likely all this stuff will improve as well. That's the goal, at least. Who knows? Maybe my cats will make a cameo as well. I have two beautiful kittens who are just they're chilling right now in the background. You can't see them here, but they're laughing it up. They're kind of annoying me right now too. They just got spayed. But getting back on track here for the podcast episode. Yes, so those are our four topics today. Morbius trailer, Black Widow special look, also talking about the Doctor Strange 2 news, and MonsterVerse. So it's a pretty Marvel-heavy episode. Hopefully DC or, I guess Lucasfilm does something sometime soon. We could talk about something else besides just primarily MCU. So our next topic here is actually talking about the Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness news, which is actually kind of sad, but not too surprising because of cryptic tweets that were going out the last few weeks or so. But director Scott Derrickson is unfortunately leaving the film. Reading it right now, he announced on Twitter due to creative differences, yet he's staying on as executive producer, and the film will still maintain its May 2021 release date. So that's really interesting. It doesn't look like they're changing the filming schedule also, and this I don't think is really shocking. Now, the reasons behind it, well, honestly, this is obviously just speculation here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he left due to the crossover nature of WandaVision, which is currently filming right now, and with how Marvel projects have gone in the past, when they're filming, they're still creatively evolving. So they always introduce new elements, new scenes, new ways of doing scenes, maybe new story beat ideas. All that is constantly being added while they're filming, and I wouldn't be surprised if being more of a reactive element to WandaVision, more so than its own standalone film, I wouldn't be surprised if creatively that was too restricting for Scott Derrickson, or maybe he just didn't really like that to a certain extent. He probably wanted to still tell a sequel to Doctor Strange 2, and I'm sure he was all for adding characters like Scarlet Witch to it, and maybe letting the film be a bounce off of product of WandaVision, but I'm sure creatively he wasn't too enthused about certain elements as time went on about connecting to WandaVision. That's kind of what you sign up for with Marvel, unfortunately, at this point. Unless you're making a film like The Eternals, it appears to be almost impossible to not have a crossover element to a certain extent. And I know a lot of people have been critical, saying that the Doctor Strange movie was maybe the most bland appearance of Doctor Strange versus all of his future appearances, whether it's Infinity War, Endgame, Thor Ragnarok. But I think that's unfair to say because Doctor Strange, the movie, was an introduction movie. So you weren't really seeing the character doing full-fledged magic, doing things a Sorcerer Supreme type character might do. And also you don't have the same smug Doctor Strange you would in his origin film, because his origin movie was a big part all about him being humbled in a lot of ways. But getting on to Doctor Strange 2, what do I think they'll do going forward? I think they might have their short list already together for directors. I think the biggest thing with the director will probably be someone who's a team player and willing to work off of the crossover elements instead of wanting to kind of wipe the board clean. And this actually may be for the benefit of this movie. And we saw something similar with Edgar Wright leaving Ant-Man, and then obviously Peyton Reed coming on the direct, which actually I think went a lot better than a lot of people imagine it would have gone, because Edgar Wright's version did not include certain elements like the quantum realm, which have come to affect and really define the Ant-Man franchise and obviously play a huge part in films like Avengers Endgame. So I think bringing on a new director that may have new, fresh ideas, such as an example of Peyton Reed joining Ant-Man, that might be for the best. Now, some directors I would love to see on the project, my perfect dream choice is Guillermo del Toro, just because with the multiverse and Nightmare for a character especially, I really want to see a director who I think has the imagination to meet that element, especially a more horror kind of element, like not rated R horror, but Guillermo del Toro does a good job, I think, of really having creativity in his films, which a lot of studios easily kind of put aside. I mean, we've seen it in Pacific Rim. We've seen it in Shape of Water, the Hellboy movies. I mean, Guillermo del Toro is a great director who's balanced working big budget films with studios that may have more creative restrictions. And also he's shown with other shorter kind of small budget films what he can do with his creativity. So I definitely think he would be a really interesting choice, especially since he already had an interest in films like Justice League Dark, which has magical aspects to it. I think he'd just be a really great fit and also a pretty familiar name for a lot of fans that would make them feel like the movie's still in really safe hands, in great hands, quality-wise. Now, outside of him, I also would be interested in seeing Travis Knight, who reportedly was on the short list for the Eternals directing choice before obviously it did not go to him. And he did Bumblebee more recently for a lot of fans, which is interesting to me because Bumblebee was really about scaling down the Transformers franchise and simplifying it for a lot of reasons to act as a semi-reboot of the whole franchise going forward. So I would love to see how Travis Knight, that dude's not making this movie, but Travis Knight, I would love to see how he would take this film, just because it'd be like the opposite. Instead of really scaling things down and simplifying it for a new future, you're expanding this thing and really kind of obviously for the future, but taking it in a bajillion different directions instead of one more simplified direction. So I would love to see how he would do the multiverse, maybe Nightmare as a character, and obviously Doctor Strange as a character, because there's a substantial time skip between the first Doctor Strange movie and the second one. And a lot could have happened with the character. There's a lot also with Mordo you got to do as well. Will Mordo appear as a villain, a supporting character? Will he be the main antagonist at the end of the day? Or will they save that for Doctor Strange 3? These are the type of questions that we really need answered. Unfortunately, both of those dream directors I listed probably won't be in the movie just because I think they both already have prior engagements. And a lot of people have also been like, why don't they get the WandaVision directors? And really, I think that would work well, I think, from a connectivity perspective. But I really just want Doctor Strange 2 to, at the end of the day, be more so Doctor Strange 2, not really WandaVision 1.5, if that makes sense. Kind of how Captain America Civil War barely did a good job, in my opinion, of balancing being an Avengers movie or being a Captain America movie. But that's just my opinion, of course. I could be totally wrong. But comment down below, what do you guys think of Doctor Strange 2 needing a new director so soon to filming and production commencing for a huge aspect of things? Who would you like to see be the director? And if they could add a new element to Doctor Strange, what would it be? Would it be bringing back the Eye of Agamotto as a time stone? Would it be bringing back the Eye of Agamotto as a different mystical artifact? What would it be? I'm really interested in hearing your guys' thoughts. But yeah, that's it. So I think I went through all the topics. If you're listening to this on YouTube or watching it on YouTube, you're going to check this out in segments. So if it seems kind of choppy, I apologize. My kittens a few times while I was recording decided to jump in. So I had to stop, focus on them, relocate them, make sure they're all right, then jump back on the recording. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the episode. Please give me feedback. I know the lighting and all that stuff will need improvement as time goes on. So I'm pretty aware of that. And give me any ideas what you think for the background. I was thinking about maybe doing movie posters, having all this be movie posters. I thought that'd be kind of cool. But just give me your comments down below, your thoughts. What do you guys think would be a great idea? And yeah, also, which topic did you guys like the most? Please leave viewer questions down below so I can do viewer questions in future episodes with hashtag HNEpod. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video segment, I guess. And or podcast if you're listening to it entirely on SoundCloud or Spotify. And I'll see you guys later.